Okay, so if everything goes well, I'm thinking about doing this differently this time. I played Venetians, I usually took on Constantinople, but I'm actually thinking about going into Africa. Or going into Africa at some point. So this will be a few hours down the road. We can fight Egypt in the Moors and the Turks, and then we should be able to organize crusades against them and get empire again.
The most serene Republic of Venice, as it is known, has become a power through control of trade to the Levant that expands through the Adriatic and Aegean seas. A new class is emerging in this city-state, a class of those who seek to profit in all things. And in these times, what can be more profitable than war? To the ruling Doge, war is simply another avenue for commerce. Soldiers' lives are spent like currency, so that the few can rise to prominence and power.
Okay, but probably the Milanese cities should be my goal after taking out the rebels.
Buongiorno, Doge. I am your advisor, Lady Gwendolen. I will guide you on managing and expanding the most serene Republic of Venice. You are currently looking at your capital city, Venice, on the campaign map. Your goal is to expand your empire through conquest, trade, diplomacy, and religion, to build a faction that is far-reaching and powerful. This scroll shows you what you must do to achieve victory and become the Emperor of the known world. Your main challenge is to expand your empire by waging war against other factions and conquering their lands. When you're ready to continue, close this scroll by left-clicking the seal in the bottom right corner. You can view your campaign goals at any time by clicking the highlighted button on the bottom panel of the screen. Venice's lands are divided and surrounded by enemies. You will need to use your legendary navy to conquer your rivals. Your best plan is to move east by land and south by sea, but be wary of the Byzantines and the Turks. You should also fortify your regions against Milan and the Holy Roman Empire to the west. The nearby rebel town of Zagreb will make an ideal first target. You should start by double-clicking on one of your settlements and recruiting some troops. Once you have built up an army, you can prepare to make your first conquest. Use this scroll to construct buildings, recruit troops, and govern your settlement. More detailed statistics and trade details can be viewed by clicking the Show Settlement Details button at the bottom of the scroll. Click the Show Me How button to learn how to use the settlement scroll. Right-click to move your fleet to any part of the highlighted area. Move the fleet to a coastal square to disembark the passengers. Right-click on an enemy fleet to engage in naval combat.
Yes. Yes, my lord. Breaking away from the fleet. Yes.
Merchants can be used to trade resources and make acquisitions. Hold your cursor over a resource to show its value, and move your merchant onto it to commence trading.
Boarding.
This is a course we
You
cannot
have selected
follow.
a target outside
Yes,
the
my
green highlighted area. This means your character cannot reach his target
Dropping
this
anchor
turn.
until-
Provided that an enemy does not block his path, your character will continue on his journey next turn. Left-click on a unit to add it to your recruitment queue. The number of units you can recruit each turn depends on the size of your settlement. Right-click on a unit to learn more about it. Click the Show Me How button to learn about recruitment. Left-click on a building to add it to the construction queue, and again to remove it. Drag and drop buildings to change their position in the queue. Right-click on a building to find out more about it. You can only manage the construction of your settlement if a governor is present.
Yes, my lord.
Click the Show Me How button to learn about construction. The number on the top right of the unit cards shows how many of those units are available to recruit. The rate that units become available for hire depends on the buildings in your settlement. Troops are trained in different buildings at various rates and made available to recruit in your settlement. If you are unsure of what to build next, click My Portrait on the bottom of this scroll for a construction suggestion. For a recruitment suggestion, click My Portrait when the Recruitment tab is selected. Moving your priest into a province converts the population to your religion. Right-click anywhere in a province to start converting.
Yes, lord. Traveling with God.
You can move your diplomat by right-clicking on any part of the highlighted area. Right-click on a character, army or settlement belonging to a rival faction to start the diplomatic process. To spy on other factions, right-click on an army, character or settlement belonging to that faction. Left-click on the boxes that slide down the left of the settlement to view important messages. Right-click to dismiss them. Messages include financial reports, family announcements, missions, and declarations of war. This scroll shows you the known details of another faction's settlement, including the governor, buildings, and garrison. Some details might be missing in the case of neutral or enemy settlements, but a skillful spy can be used to uncover any missing information.
Yes?
Your Majesty. Yes! Orders. Your Majesty.
You can also recruit agents to serve your kingdom here. You can only recruit a limited number of some agents, and you must improve your buildings to recruit more. Once trained, your agents can undertake special missions. This scroll gives you important information and statistics about a particular unit. Number of men, training and upkeep costs, experience, attack and defense values, and special abilities. Use this information to determine how to best build up your army.
Someone to see? Naturally, my lord. Yes, lord. Requesting an audience.
Click on the items on the left to make an offer or demand. Your current agreements with this faction are displayed on the right. Consider the balance of the agreement at hand and accept or reject the offer by using the buttons at the bottom of the scroll.
I see no problem here. It is agreed. Goodbye. It has been a pleasure. Yes, lord. Requesting an audience. Today's journey ends.
Your will. Orders. Orders. Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. We can march no further today.
Your orders? Yes, my lord.
Orders? Yes, Lord. March!
Forts and watchtowers
Yes,
can be constructed by
Building a
armies that are
watchtower.
led by a general. Watchtowers allow you to see into adjacent
Yes, Lord.
territories, but can only be built in regions you control. Forts enable the defense of strategic positions and can be built in any region. You can obtain better quality weapons and armor for your men by constructing a blacksmith's, armorer's, or foundry in this settlement. Once complete, these buildings provide superior equipment for all new units trained here.
Your orders? Full sails.
The icons under your settlement show the income, loyalty, and growth of the settlement. Icons will also appear if the settlement is close to rioting, under siege, or has the plague. Move your mouse over the icons for more information.
Yes, my lord.
Ports,
orders?
shipwrights, and dockyards allow you
Leaving
to
the rest
construct
of the
bigger
fleet,
and
my
better
lord.
fleets.
Yes,
Fleets
my
can also be made stronger by merging them together as you would
Full
armies.
sails. We shall continue tomorrow, my lord. Yes.
God's servant.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
My lord. Boarding. I cannot go there, my lord.
Your orders? This is as far as we go today, my lord.
Right-click to move your army to any part of the highlighted area. Attack
Yes,
by
Lord.
right-clicking on a rival's
Building a
army or
watchtower.
settlement. Merge with a friendly army or board a fleet by moving onto it.
Yes! Closing for battle!
When attacking a settlement, you must either have siege artillery in your army or construct siege equipment on the battlefield. Equipment that is unsuitable for use on a settlement's defences is greyed out. The time taken to build is displayed beneath each item. Click the Show Me How button to learn how to build siege equipment. This scroll shows you the known details of another faction's character. You will find this information useful if you want to acquire a foreign merchant, propose marriage to a princess, or assassinate an enemy character.
Men, bring our people honor, glory, and most of all... It is not my way to send men into needless peril during battle. If I ask something of you, it is necessary. And I will not expect more of you than I would ask of myself. I have found that just orders are readily obeyed, and victory is the result. These rebellious knaves and villains are not fit to breathe the same air as we honest men. They must all die before dawn comes again. This is a mercy, because they richly deserve the gallows for turning against their betters. And now, put your trust in good steel and hard-hearted comrades. Then let us see what God wills for us. Units, await my orders.
Actually,
Move it!
You have pressed the loose formation button for the first time. You'll notice the troops you have selected spread out into a more relaxed formation. Use this formation to reduce casualties from missile fire. This button swaps the units between loose and normal formations. Possible to set arrows alight to rain fire and death down upon the enemy. Flaming arrows have reduced accuracy, but are more devastating when they land and have a greater effect on morale. Left-click the Show Me How button to see how to do this. You have pressed the Cancel Order button for the first time. This cancels orders for the selected units and makes them stop where they are. You could just give them a new order, but using this button is quicker if you need them to stop immediately.
We are under attack.
cavalry charge, they cause extra casualties due to the momentum of their attack. A cycle of charge, withdraw, charge causes maximum casualties for minimum losses. Repeat until done. Once your men are in combat, you can make them break off by double right-clicking on a point behind them. This can be a useful trick if your men are faster than the enemy's. When using this tactic, however, it is inevitable that you will lose a few men.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Generals, holding on! Generals, holding on!
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
You do not only win a battle by killing every last enemy soldier on the field, you also win by causing them to break and flee. When a unit routs, the panic spreads, and nearby units may join them. This can turn into a mass rout.
Generals, holding on!
Praise curses! Our men no longer command the city!
You've pressed the Fire at Will button for the first time. This toggles Fire at Will on and off for the selected troops. Toggle Fire at Will off if you wish to preserve ammunition.
Praise to our Lord! Our men have slain the enemy general! Now his men will lose heart! This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor!
We tore them apart, my lord. Victory! We
When
marched
you
through
capture
your
a
enemy's
settlement,
streets.
you have the option to
Victory!
occupy, sack, or exterminate. Occupying a settlement brings it under your rule peacefully, but the people might rebel against you. Sacking allows your troops to loot and pillage, which gives an order and cash bonus, but buildings are damaged and people are killed. Exterminating kills most of the population and reduces the level of the buildings, but brings the population under your control.
Your will.
This settlement is a city. Your cities are your major source of income from taxation and trade. You will need to ensure that your people stay happy for your city to function at its best.
Seriously, has nothing here. Okay, so nice. for economic development. So it's nice to take a settlement from nothing and really develop it. So now it's just a little hamlet. Yeah. And we have no buildings.
This scroll gives you detailed information about a particular building. Use this information to choose which buildings to construct. You can also destroy a building to retrieve some of its construction cost by clicking the Destroy Building button on the bottom left of the scroll. There is currently no governor in this settlement. You will need to move in a general to recruit troops, construct buildings, and manage this settlement. In the absence of a general, your settlement is being auto-managed. Religion is central in these times, and the Pope is both the religious leader of all Catholics and the head of the Papal States. You should bear in mind each faction standing with the Pope during your diplomatic relations with those factions.
Yes.
This scroll shows a summary of important information about your faction and progress. You can automate construction, recruitment and taxation in all your settlements. Use the slider to decide the proportion of your treasury your governors will spend when auto-managing a settlement.
Yes, my lord. Your orders?
Orders?
Yes.
If you move a general into a settlement, he becomes the governor. Generals with high piety, chivalry, or dread make better governors. In the absence of a general, your settlement will be automatically managed. Blockading a port prevents the enemy from trading through their port, cutting their income. Your navy can blockade a port by attacking it as you would another fleet. Select your navy and right-click on the port you want to blockade.
Sire.
Yes.
There are 13 positions in the College of Cardinals. New cardinals are selected when a position is vacant. To increase the chance of your priests being selected as cardinals, stay in the Pope's good graces and send your priests on converting missions.
Okay, so stopping up is really important. Very important to get a good start.
It is a new turn and season in your campaign. Your treasury has been updated, your armies and characters have rested, and your rivals have made their moves. It is now your turn to make your next moves to carry out your strategy. This scroll details your performance throughout the term, including military actions, finances, and your empire's progress. You can review this and more information at any time on the Overview panel. Click Show Me How to see how to access the Overview panel.
Yes, Lord. Requesting an audience.
Your first mission has arrived. You will receive missions and requests from various people from time to time. Completing missions involves certain benefits, but ignoring them can result in negative consequences.
March! Huh? We cannot travel there.
If you need to refer to them later, details of your current missions are kept on the Missions scroll. Left-click the Show Me How button to see how to access the Missions scroll.
Your will.
Someone to see? Yes, Lord. Requesting an audience.
Is there something to discuss, mein guter Mann? Nein, I may not accept this you speak of. The Kaiser will be most pleased with you. Danke for your time. It was useful.
Yes, Lord. Requesting an audience. Today?
Florins, Gilda, either is good with me.
God's servant. Boarding.
Be careful with the marching, because I'm sure he's good. He's saying, is my marching, please?
Full sails. Dropping anchor until... Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
Yes?
Yes! Orders. Your Majesty. Orders.
Your will.
Full sails.
Yes, my lord. Leading the men ashore. Yes? Your will. This is not possible, my lord. Are you...
An order?
This settlement is a castle. Your castles will be your unit production centres. Castles produce little income, but the population is easier to keep content than in cities. Castles and cities differ in the buildings you can construct and the units you can recruit. You will need a balance of castles and cities to ensure you can support your troops.
Ready to trade.
Yes, my lord. Your orders? Yes. Your orders? Combining the fleets.
Yes? Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy.
Maintaining a
Besieging
siege on a
settlement,
settlement will eventually starve out
Find
the
the
enemy.
walls, my lord.
However, in this time, the enemy might summon reinforcements. Click the Maintain Siege button to continue your siege, or the Assault button when you have siege equipment and are ready to attack. To withdraw from the siege, click the Lift the Siege button. This scroll shows you the details of a general in your faction. You can also recruit mercenaries that are available for hire in this region.
Yes! Closing for battle!
The strength of an army is shown on its banner. The more colour on the banner, the more men are present. Any stars next to the army show the command rating of its general.
The troops are assembled! Prepare for battle! Through God's grace, we have been brought to this place. Brought here to fight for His glory, His name. Our enemies must quail at the thought of our righteous might. We would do well to pray, because the shedding of blood is an offense. But it is one that we willingly do, for by it we establish God's peace. Our foes are rebels and traitors, and deserve nothing but the edge of a blade upon their stinking necks. And a sword is a merciful end to them, for they should face the gallows. And so make your peace with God and your fellows. Do not brood on what is to come. Raise high our banners! Units, await my orders.
Archers! Archers!
Units, loose formation.
Archers! Advance! Infantry! March! Archers! March! Advance! Onward! Forward!
Onward! Onward!
You can change the facing, width, and length of your units by using the mouse. Select the units you wish to change, then hold down the right mouse button and move the mouse to change their position, formation, and facing. When you release the right mouse button, they will carry out your orders.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Onward! Onward!
Holding on!
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. We are blessed. The enemy general is dead. We have sent the idiot to hell. My lord, our men have taken control of the city.
You've won the battle. Now you can try to kill or capture as many fleeing enemies as possible before they escape. As your troops are in no danger, you may want to speed up time using the speed settings. Left-click on Show Me How to see how this is done, or press Ctrl-T to speed up time.
All of Christendom will be awed by the victory we have won here today.
We show little mercy. They deserve none. We have crushed them! This place is yours, my lord!
If there is no permanent governor in the settlement, it's a good idea to queue the buildings that you want to construct when you have the opportunity. When a general moves into your settlement, you can select the buildings you want to build, and your construction orders will continue to be carried out even after the general has moved on.
Ready to trade.
Public order is becoming low here, and without action there may be a riot. Check the settlement details scroll for underlying causes. In the short term, increasing the garrison's size should improve law and order.
Bringing these lands under your gaze. Approaching, my lord. Camping here, my lord. Your will. Are you certain, noble one?
Oh, I know. An African campaign before this, which avoided the series.
Yes? Yes, Lord. Building a watchtower. Move out! A good day's march ends. Yes, Lord. Building a watchtower. We continue tomorrow, my lord. A good day's march ends.
When your
Yes,
fleet engages in combat, it is likely to suffer damage. To repair a fleet, return it to one of your ports and retrain it as you would an army. Review the state of your faction's finances here. You can increase your income by adjusting the tax rate in the settlement, opening up trade routes, or exploiting natural resources. Your current treasury is also permanently displayed under the End Turn button.
An honor.
Double-click on a settlement to construct buildings, recruit units, and manage the settlement.
Where to, sire? Yes, Lord. Investigating. Moving in unseen, my lord. Yes, Lord. Investigating.
You can click on my portrait to dismiss a piece of advice or replay the last piece of advice. The buttons next to my portrait allow you to change the advice settings, zoom to a location on the map, and show you how to do something. There are more advice options on the game options scroll. This scroll shows you a breakdown of important factors affecting your settlement. Move the mouse cursor over each icon to find out more information. Your main aims are to maximize income and growth while keeping public order and religion as high as possible. press the
Ready to
spacebar
train.
to toggle the movement speed of characters and armies on the campaign map. Use backspace to stop a character moving.
Opening trade lane.
Orders? Onward.
Sire,
An order? Yes, Lord. Requesting an audience.
Balance with the Papal States and all that. The relationship and alliance with them as soon as possible.
Making trade agreements with other factions is a good place to start. Trade agreements are likely to be accepted and will increase the trade income generated by your settlements and merchants.
We accept this proposal only under great duress. This concludes our
Your
meeting,
diplomat will negotiate with other factions on your behalf.
yes? Requesting
Right-click
an
on a character, army or settlement belonging to a rival faction to engage in diplomacy. The higher your diplomat's influence, the more likely he is to persuade your rivals.
sire. Moving in unseen, my lord.
A spy can be killed when trying to carry out a mission. However, if the mission succeeds, the spy might gain experience and be more likely to succeed in the future.
Yes? Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. Laying siege. They're going nowhere, my lord. The siege continues. Yes! Closing for battle!
It is important to balance the happiness of your population with the tax rate. Happy citizens are less likely to revolt, and your settlement will grow faster. However, you need money from tax to support your troops and expand your empire.
Yes! Your orders?
Yes, my lord. Full sails. Yes, my lord. Full sails. This is as far as we go today, my lord.
Your will.
Yes. Yes, my lord. Plotting course now, my lord. Dropping anchor until morning.
Orders?
Okay, so now he might get battery, then we'll see.
If you want help using a scroll at any time, then click the question mark on the top right of the scroll.
Your orders? Yes, my lord.
This scroll appears when you attempt to merge two armies that have more units in total than is allowed in a single army.
Yes, my lord.
You can choose which armies you'd like to
Yes.
merge by selecting the units you wish to move,
some new
then
exotics.
clicking the central
Ready to
merge
trade.
button.
Florins, Gilda, either is good.
Yes? Orders? Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. They're going nowhere, my lord. The siege continues. Yes! Closing for battle! Men, bring out people honor, glory, and most of all... I have brought you here to fight. I brought you here because you are hard-faced, brave soldiers and put fear into any enemy. I promise nothing save a hard struggle. Would you have me tell you anything else? I will not lie. No, not even if victory depended on that lie. These rebellious knaves and villains are not fit to breathe the same air as we honest men. They must all die before dawn comes again. This is a mercy, because they richly deserve the gallows for turning against their betters. And so make your peace with God and your fellows. Do not brood on what is to come. Raise high our banners!
Your siege equipment is automatically attached to one of your infantry units. Units with siege equipment are marked with an icon representing the siege equipment they are manning on their unit card. If you wish to have troops drop the siege equipment, click on the Drop Siege Equipment icon. To have another unit pick up a piece of spare equipment, select the unit and right-click on the equipment when the cursor changes to a hand. Left-click on Show Me How for details of your objectives, as well as the use of battering rams, ladders and towers.
Forward! Units, march!
You have pressed the Special Unit Abilities button for the first time. This activates any special formations or abilities of the selected unit. As you select different units, you will see the button change. If the selected unit does not have a special ability, the button will become a red circle with a line through it.
Advance! Advance! In position. Archers! Missile! Attack! Rapido! Generals, run!
These stoves and the accuracy. I need to take out my battery. This is really going to attack like this.
position. General's position. Double time.
Okay.
Advance! Onward! Double time! Ordnance complete. Commence rally! Archers! Archers!
Your siege weapons have knocked through a section of the enemy's walls. Divert your heaviest troops to attack the breach. Make haste or the defenders will be ready and your advantage lost.
Excellent! We have breached our enemy's walls.
Shoot these corners, holding on!
Attacking spearmen from the front is a good way to lose your cavalry units. Attack from the flank or rear. Or better still, use some infantry. Left-click the Show Me How button to zoom to your unit.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours. Only half the enemy force remains.
Generals, holding on! Not quickly! Generals, holding on! Double time! Not quickly!
We are blessed. The enemy general is dead. We have sent...
In causing an enemy rout, timing is everything. When you find weak spots in the enemy, weaken them until they are wavering, and then hit them hard to cause them to rout. The more units you can rout simultaneously, the more chance the whole army will panic and run.
Villages now. It's just that.
Generals, holding on! Double time!
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Generals, holding on! Attack! Generals, holding on! Attack quickly!
It is unwise to praise the saints. Our men have taken control of the city. My lord, we have lost control of the city.
The foolish enemy are facing away from your missile troops. Without their shields for protection, they're a great target.
We're under attack.
It's like that. They just have
All of Christendom will be awed by the victory we have won here today.
they do a lot of damage. They got a lot of bodyguards.
Victory! They stood no chance. I have silenced them. Your will.
Yes, my lord. Yes, lord. Requesting an audience.
You have a message for my people? Acceptable, but hardly inspiring. Farewell, noble lord.
Yes, lord. Requesting an audience. Today's journey ends.
Ready to trade.
Right-click on a foreign merchant to attempt to acquire their assets. If you are successful, the foreign merchant will be put out of business. If you fail the acquisition, your merchant might be forced to retire.
Yes?
God's servant.
Build farms to ensure a good harvest, and roads to enable trade between settlements. Building markets and sending merchants to resources increases your trade profits.
Yes.
Click the Show Settlement Details button to access more details on your settlement's income.
Your orders?
Plotting course now, madam.
Name thy enemy, lord.
Full sails! Yes, my lord. Plotting course now, my lord. Full sails. Plotting course now, my lord. This is as far as we go today. Yes. Yes, my lord. Full sails. We shall continue tomorrow. Yes, my lord. Yes. Your orders?
You will need to recruit units to defend your position and expand your army. To recruit units, double-click on a settlement and select the Recruitment tab.
Yes, my lord.
My lord.
Command me.
Orders.
Continuing tomorrow.
When moving around the map,
Yes,
it is
Lord.
important to be aware of enemy armies. Left-click an enemy army to view its zone of movement. Double-click the army to find out more details. When an enemy army is blocking your path, the terrain will be highlighted in red at the choke point. You must fight the enemy army to pass, or find an alternative route.
Yes. Your orders? Closing to engage, my lord.
This scroll shows the outcome of the battle and some basic statistics. You can view more detailed results of the battle by clicking the Show Battle Statistics button on the bottom right of the scroll.
Yes, my lord. Your orders? Breaking away from the fleet.
Your Majesty.
Your orders, Noble One.
Yes.
Yes!
Your orders, Noble One.
Yes, my lord.
Bless you, Lord. Back on dry land.
We cannot sail there.
Your orders, noble one. God will...
Your orders?
God's servant.
It's so difficult to control.
My lord.
Full sails!
God's servant.
Yes. Your orders?
Let me strike, my lord.
Yes, my lord. Yes. Your orders? Yes. Joining our fleets, my lord. Yes, my lord. Plotting course now, my lord. Dropping anchor until morning. Someone to see? Yes, Lord. Requesting an audience.
Wow, so yeah, actually going to war early. Taking out some cities quickly.
Today's journey ends.
It's very important.
Sire. Where to, sire?
This scroll enables you to view the state of diplomatic relations between each faction at a glance. Use this scroll to aid you in making and breaking alliances during your campaign.
The wars have started so far. Well, definitely want to take these two cities and raid them. Not only raid them, but generate each of them 2,000. So it's gonna be fantastic. So we only have two cities outright.
Where to, sire?
To just take them out. Two simultaneous sneak attacks. Or at least besiege them. Two simultaneous siege attacks. Center land because there's some very important.
Orders?
Yes. Orders. Yes.
I bring word from my people, noble one. A well thought out offer, my lord. I will happily accept. Goodbye.
Your orders?
This scroll shows you the buildings that are available for construction in cities and castles. You can see the existing buildings in your settlement and what can be constructed. Select a type of building on the right to see what can be constructed for each level of a city or castle. Right-click on a building for a detailed description.
Your will.
Orders. Your Majesty. Orders.
Was that an attack? Command me. Approaching, my lord.
Yes, my lord. Yes. Someone to see? Boarding now, my lord. Full sails. We shall continue tomorrow.
Your orders?
Yes. Yes, my lord.
This scroll shows you the details of an admiral in your navy. Your admiral's command attribute affects how likely he is to win a naval battle.
Dropping anchor
From
until
time to
morning.
time, you will receive special missions from the Pope, your Council of Nobles, guilds, and other factions. You can review the details of your current missions here, including goals, time left, and associated rewards and penalties. This scroll shows you the known details of another faction's army or fleet. Any question marks indicate hidden details, which a skillful spy will be able to uncover. Knowing the composition of an enemy's army allows you to tailor your army to their weaknesses.
Number one.
Yes, my lord. Prepare to board and engage! We must withdraw! Now! We shall continue tomorrow, my lord. Your orders? Closing to engage, my lord. Victory! Yes, my lord. Your orders? Yes, my lord. Yes. Your orders? Yes, my lord. Yes. Combining the fleets.
Your orders, Noble One. God will be with us, men! To battle! Without question, we shall begin the siege. Besieging forces reporting, my lord. Your orders, Noble One.
Constructing a port in a coastal settlement allows trade with overseas settlements and further increases your income. Build wharves, warehouses or docklands to allow more trade fleets and further increase trade.
Where to, sire? Moving in unseen, my lord.
Move merchants onto valuable resources to commence trading, or right-click on a rival merchant to attempt an acquisition. Merchants with higher finance can trade resources for more money and are more likely to make a successful acquisition. Before you launch an attack on this neutral faction, be sure to consider the possible implications. Have you considered who your new enemy is allied with, or where the loyalty of your own allies will lie? You're at war. Look to your frontier provinces to ensure they are garrisoned and recruit extra units where necessary. Send spies to locate the enemy and assassins to kill their generals. When you end your turn, your view moves to follow your rival's characters. You can choose to not follow these characters on the game options scroll. This will reduce the time between your turns.
Wow. The riches. Wow.
You will need to construct buildings to produce troops and improve your cities. To construct buildings, double-click on a settlement and add buildings to your construction queue.
Yes, my lord. Your orders? Full sails.
This scroll gives you an at-a-glance summary of the management of your settlements, their size, population, happiness, and governor. Right-click on a settlement to bring up the settlement scroll.
Yes?
Yes!
Orders? Yes! Closing for battle! Hiding our forces from enemy eyes.
I am neither friend nor foe, your majesty.
You can ask the Pope to call a crusade on a particular settlement via the Request the Pope to Commission a Crusade button on the left of the Pope scroll. Click on the button and choose a target from the list of settlements. You cannot suggest a target too soon after a crusade, or if your standing with the Pope is too low.
Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. Your will.
Orders.
Yes? Yes! Closing for battle!
I am a soldier. Speak to our representatives.
your will. Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy.
Your generals can hire mercenaries to fight in their armies, but be aware of their hire costs. To hire mercenaries, click on the recruitment button. The button will be disabled if there are no mercenaries for hire.
The troops are assembled! Prepare for battle! Battle is a dangerous thing, and we face glory or death here. It is my honor to give you victory, if God wills it so. I would ask you to fight, no more, no less, when the time comes. We will have glory. Let those fools enjoy death and dishonor. Great God, heaven! I fear the Milanese do no service to the land of Italy. Rarely have I smelled such a rank odor. One would think that such a nation of bankers would be able to afford fresh linen. Now lift up your banners and march away! To glory, good soldiers, and a bloody day!
There is more than one way to select multiple units. First, you can left-click and drag a selecting box around multiple units. Second, you can hold down the Shift key and select 2 unit cards on the bottom panel to select those units and all the units in between. Finally, select a unit, then holding down the Control key, click on other units to add them to the current selection. This works on unit cards and units on the battlefield. Spearmen can be vulnerable to missile fire from enemy troops. You should engage the enemy missile troops as soon as you can with light cavalry if possible.
The enemy have brought up more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in bravery.
Spearmen are about to attack your cavalry, who are already in a fight. Get your horsemen out of there. Spearmen are the most effective force against cavalry. Left-click the Show Me How button to zoom to your unit. There is often an advantage in ordering your infantry to countercharge an enemy infantry charge. The trick is to leave it until the last moment so your own lines are not broken.
to our lord. Our men have slain the enemy general. Now his men will lose heart. The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Spearmen are the best troops for defeating cavalry. Left-click the Show Me How button to zoom to your unit.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
Attacking engaged cavalry with spearmen in the flank or rear is an excellent way to defeat them. Left-click the Show Me How button to zoom to your unit.
Praise the Almighty! Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage.
Fighting them in their own city is horrendous. Takes a long time.
Running everywhere with your cavalry lets them cover ground quickly. But be aware they will get tired if you overdo it. Tired troops are less effective in combat.
This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
You have taken prisoners from your victorious battle and can now decide their fate. Will you be the Dread Lord and execute them, or the chivalrous knight and return their freedom?
The day is ours! The enemy are beaten! Yes? We cannot travel there. This is not possible, my lord. Yes! Crossing for battle! Laying siege. They're going nowhere, my lord. The siege continues.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to repeat the battle. If I do manage to eliminate the Lord first, this will be a lot better.
Your will. Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy.
You're at war. Look to your frontier provinces to ensure they are garrisoned and recruit extra units where necessary. Send...
Yes?
Orders? Your will.
Each of your generals has various attributes, which will affect how he can best serve your kingdom. Some traits are present from birth, and others are acquired through experience. Some men will be great commanders, others will be meticulous governors, and some men are best sent far away on dangerous campaigns.
Men, bring our people honor, glory, and most of all... Men, speak well of me because I do not throw lives away. I will not use false modesty and deny the charge. Indeed, I say proudly that it is true. And further, I will give you victory if you have the hearts to fight like men possessed when I ask it. Those fopps from Milan think they are soldiers. I laugh at such an idea, for they can barely lift a bag of money, let alone a sword. And now all is said. So let's do it pell-mell and send our enemies to fry in hell! Units!
To move the camera around the battlefield faster, simply hold down the Shift key and navigate with your camera keys. It is possible to order your units to move via multiple waypoints. To set a waypoint, hold down the Shift key and right-click. Continue this until you are satisfied with the course of your units. You can finish this movement by right-clicking on an enemy unit to order your unit to attack it as its final move.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
Generals, holding on!
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Generals, holding on! Attack quickly!
Only half the enemy force remains. The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. Praise the Almighty! Praise to our Lord! Our men have slain the enemy general. Now his men will lose heart. The enemy flees the battle! Run down those worthless... This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor!
Yeah. The day is ours. The enemy are beaten.
If I can succeed here, then it's gonna make
Orders?
huge difference.
Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy.
If I can succeed here, I can raid their city. Got something in all my other cities. And then exterminate in the next one. Without too much of a hassle.
The troops are assembled. Prepare for battle.
It is not my way to send men into needless peril during battle. If I ask something of you, it is necessary. And I will not expect more of you than I would ask of myself. I have found that just orders are readily obeyed, and victory is the result. Great God, heaven! I fear the Milanese do no service to the land of Italy. Rarely have I smelled such a rank odor. One would think that such a nation of bankers would be able to afford fresh linen. And now all is said. So let's do it pell-mell and send our enemies to fry in hell! Units, await my orders. Generals, onward!
The enemy?
In battle, it is important to know where your units are going. To see the destinations of all your units, hold down the spacebar.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours. The enemy are badly blooded. The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press the Lord above is kind. We have captured the enemy's
Momentum is overwhelming. Routing 3 enemy units in a battle is no great achievement. Routing 3 enemy units at the same time may cause a cascade of panic and win the battle.
Praise the Almighty! Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage. The enemy flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants. All of Christendom will be awed by the victory we have won here today.
When your general takes prisoners from a battle, he has an important decision to make. Executing your opponent's men will increase his dread, and releasing them will increase his chivalry. Having high chivalry or dread makes your character a better governor and a better commander on the battlefield. You should choose a path of chivalry or dread for him early, and work to increase this characteristic.
Okay, so if I
Yes?
take of the lords and
Yes! Closing for battle!
the spearmen will just take a long time to fight my spearmen. I can invade them just before.
Men, bring our people honor, glory, and most of all...
Units, await my orders. Generals, march!
The enemy have brought up more men.
The enemy is holding their ground and awaits our attack. If we wish to win this battle, we will have to move out.
Go, go, go! Onward! Double time!
battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours. Only half the... We are blessed. The enemy general is dead. We have sent the idiot to hell. Praise the Almighty. Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage. Battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours. The enemy flees the battle! Run down those worthless peasants!
Maybe I should just concentrate on the lore the next time with everything I got and then clear out everything else.
General's bodyguard!
This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
Yes, Lord.
The day is ours. The enemy are beaten. Your will. Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. The troops are assembled. Prepare.
Focus it on the left flank so they can just intercept those reinforcements.
Units, await my orders. Onward. Move out. Units. Generals, bodyguard, advance.
The running and fighting tires your troops, which reduces their effectiveness and morale. When your men become very tired or exhausted, have them stand still for a while to rest.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost. It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Attack quickly! Units! Units, charge! Units, make haste! Units, make haste! Units, charge!
Praise the Almighty! Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage.
Generals, holding on! Attack quickly! Units, charge!
Wow, wow, no, come on, this is bullshit. Wow, he just skirted around.
Our enemies have...
Wow. This is some of the worst.
The battle is lost! Fall back! We'll continue tomorrow, my lord.
We can get. Wow. So this is the sixth time I'm doing this battle. Wow.
Orders? Huh? We cannot travel there. This is not
Forts enable the defense of strategic positions without a settlement.
Units, await my orders! Units, march! Generals, warrior! Onward!
The enemy have brought up more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in bravery.
Units, make haste! Generals, holding on! Units, make haste! Units, make haste!
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours. The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. Praise the Almighty! The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
Wow. I hate this. Fuck this. Wow, this. Wow. So sick. Okay, whatever.
Today's defeat is nothing.
Your enemy is willing to return the men they captured during the battle for a price.
Wow. That was so stupid.
Yes? Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. Besieging settlement, my lord. Is it time to take the walls, my lord? Orders?
Your Majesty.
Your will. Yes? Your will.
Orders. Your Majesty. Orders.
Orders? Yes! Closing for battle!
Wow, I'm so disappointed that I couldn't get that guy to retreat. Kill the guy.
Laying siege. They're going nowhere, my lord. The siege continues. Yes?
Yes! Orders. Move out! Combining forces, my lord.
Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. Is it time to take the walls, my lord? Your will. Yes? Onward.
Is it not up?
Your orders, noble one.
That's so annoying that I couldn't do it.
We will engage them honorably, my lord.
So long. Never done it.
God will help the faithful prevail. We attack! Our foes are ungodly beasts, and so we are but the swords in the hands of the hosts of heaven. We do God's glorious work, and if we fall, we do so in His cause. If we triumph, we do so because He has willed it. Now, bow your heads. Then let's do the appointed task. Our foes are rebels and traitors, and deserve nothing but the edge of a blade upon their stinking necks. And a sword is a merciful end to them, for they should face the gallows. And now any man here who is not praying for our victory had better make his peace with God, or he'll find none with me hereafter. Now, bring me my broadsword and let me kiss the cross before I fight!
Your siege equipment is automatically attached to one of your infantry units. Units with siege equipment are marked with an icon representing the siege equipment they are manning on their unit card. If you wish to have troops drop the siege equipment, click on the Drop Siege Equipment icon. To have another unit pick up a piece of spare equipment, select the unit and right-click on the equipment when the cursor changes to a hand. Left-click on Show Me How for details of your objectives, as well as the use of battering rams, ladders, and towers.
Our men have reached the walls with their ladders.
Formation!
The battering ram is in place. It will not be long before our enemy's defenses fall.
You have successfully used a ram to destroy an enemy gate. Quickly send troops through the breach and establish a foothold in the settlement before they can force you out.
The battering ram has done its work. Now is the time for brave hearts and brave deeds. Our soldiers have proved their worth today. The enemy's walls belong to us now. The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
press the skirmish mode button for the first time. This button toggles skirmish mode on and off for the selected troops. When in skirmish mode, troops will avoid getting into hand-to-hand combat by keeping their distance from enemy troops. Missile troops, like archers, are always in skirmish mode. You will need to turn the skirmish mode off if you want them to stand and fight.
Generals, holding on! Attack quickly! Units, touch! Generals, holding on! March! Generals, holding on! Attack quickly!
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
My lord!
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Attack quickly! Generals, holding on! Archers, halt! Spearmen, infantry! Charge! Archers, double line!
The Lord above is kind. We have captured the enemy's general. The enemy flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants. This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
Next turn, hopefully, I can lose these two cities.
The day is ours! The enemy are beaten! Noble lord, we have conquered!
The rate that your settlement's population grows determines how quickly you can upgrade it and gain access to new buildings and units. Population growth can be increased by building farms, decreasing the tax rate, and reducing squalor.
Well, actually, I think I could hold on to that, but...
bear a message that you would be wise to heed. No matter, perhaps simply best.
The Pope has requested that you cease hostilities against your fellow Catholics. You must stop any hostile acts you are currently undertaking, such as sieging one of their settlements, and refrain from attacking them for the duration of the mission.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
Exactly why I wanted to
Dropping
take them out
anchor until
quickly
morning.
without
This is as far as we go today, my lord. Yes.
the Pope being able to notice.
Full sail. Yes, my lord. Full sail. We shall continue tomorrow, my lord.
I hate. Says you might be excommunicated.
It seems we have much to discuss. I am afraid I must deny you today. Farewell, noble.
Carrying out the Pope's requests will improve your standing with him, but ignoring them will lower his opinion of you. His Holiness has considerable power, so it is wise to stay in his good graces. You can find out more about the Pope, as well as his opinion of you and your rivals, on the Overviews panel. Click Show Me How to see how to access the Pope Scroll.
Talk is cheap. Come face me.
Orders?
Admiring the enemy.
Yes! Closing for battle! The troops are assembled! Prepare for battle!
Yeah, that's exactly why I tried to make the fast attack. Well, since most of cities are small, small cities, villages.
Battle is a dangerous thing, and we face glory or death here. It is my honor to give you victory, if God wills it so. I would ask you to fight, no more, no less, when the time comes. We will have glory. Let those fools enjoy death and dishonor. Those fops from Milan think they are soldiers. I laugh at such an idea, for they can barely lift a bag of money, let alone a sword. Now lift up your banners and march away! To glory, good soldiers, and a bloody day!
Soldiers, on my order!
See.
Ladders! Forward! Ladders! Ladders! Ladders!
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
Generals, holding on! Double time!
Heave the ladders!
The ladders are now in place. Walls are no match for valor and force of arms.
Spearmen! Double time! Orders completed, my lord.
Our men have reached the walls with their ladders.
Move! Move! Orders completed. Run! Orders completed. Run!
Our soldiers have proved their worth today. The enemy's walls belong to us now.
Run! Orders completed.
Generals, holding on! Advance! Double time!
Spearmen! Spearmen!
Praise the saints! Our men have taken control of the city! It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle, and we are blessed! The enemy general is dead! We have sent the idiot to hell! Only half the enemy force remains.
Enemy cavalry are readying an attack on the flanks of these already engaged spearmen. Either pull them back or commit other troops in support. Left-click the Show Me How button to zoom to your unit.
This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
Yes, you know that we can pay.
We tore them apart, my lord. Victory! We have crushed them! This place is yours, my lord!
If a captured settlement has no strategic value, you can raise buildings to return some of their value. Right-click on the building you want to raise and click the Destroy Building button on the bottom of the building information scroll.
Yes, my lord. Yes. Separating the fleets. Your orders? Full sail.
Your will.
Watchtowers enable you to see further into adjacent territories. An army led by a general can build a watchtower in regions that you control. To build a watchtower, left-click the construction button when outside a settlement. The button will be disabled if the terrain is unsuitable or there is no general in your army. Public order determines the likelihood of unrest and rebellions in your settlement. Public order can be improved by increasing your garrison, reducing the tax rate and squalor, and increasing law. Your income depends on trade, farming, mining, and tax. Click the Show Trade Summary button on the bottom left of the scroll for a breakdown of this settlement's income.
Your will. Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. Men, bring our people honor, glory, and most of all... Sakes above! Are they men or idiots led by rabbits? I mean to find out. So, to arms, men! Soldiers!
Your siege equipment is automatically attached to one of your infantry units. Units with siege equipment are marked with an icon representing the siege equipment they are manning on their unit card. If you wish to have troops drop the siege equipment, click on the Drop Siege Equipment icon. To have another unit pick up a piece of spare equipment, select the unit and right-click on the equipment when the cursor changes to a hand. Left-click on Show Me How for details of your objectives, as well as the use of battering rams, ladders and towers.